Hey guys, welcome back to D&D. So, playing today, this is our new Season 3 campaign, being GM'd by Zygon. Joining me is Xilo, Ricky, and JoINrbs. So we're going to continue where we left off from last time, a quick recap of that. The last episode, the last session, was fairly drunk, but from what I remember, we were engaging a basilisk and an orc that we had encountered in a house deep in the area that we are assigned to. We're going to this area to check out these changes in the world, these changes in this magic area, and we're found this house with this orc and this basilisk. We don't really know much about what he was doing. He seemed to be doing some sort of ritual with it. So we shot guiding bolts up its ass until it died. And that's we're going to continue today. So
pretty much.
Right, it's immediately after the battle, right?
Yep, immediately after anal explosions.
Okay. All right. What's dead?
Blood everywhere. The phonons start to sizzle. And everyone just stops for a moment. It's dead.
Well, that went well.
Is everybody okay?
Am I still prone? I can't remember. I remember diving prone a number of times, but I don't remember if I'm prone at this moment.
I just assume that you're always prone.
Yes.
So
I poked my head around the corner, but I'm not yet standing up. Just look around the door frame.
You just took an attack of opportunity against it.
Yeah, I could do that while I'm prone.
Yeah.
Oh, while you were prone. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of like nicked at his shins. But anyways, so I poked my head around. I see everyone's still alive. And I calmly stand up like nothing's happened, brush a little bit of dirt off my shoulder, and say, so what's next?
So as you do that, Fang Jr. comes over and he licks your face. He was very worried.
Oh, that's excellent.
The camel came in through the window and is now inside.
Door was open, and the window was broken.
I see Fang, we missed you, and I give him a little head rub. And then, do I have any food? I have some food in my pack. Do I have any? Ooh, better yet. Where is everyone else's packs?
Where are they?
Camels. If it's not something that we would carry ourselves, I imagine it would be on our camels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do any of you guys have favorite treats that you eat? Like, just like little snack food or anything besides just the dry pack rations? Like dried fruit or an apple? Anything you guys in general?
I had soap. I think I gave it to you already.
No, not the soap. Well, I'll try that. I'll try to feed Fang Jr. some of the soap. Does he eat it? Is he like a goat? Are camels like goats?
This will go swell, I'm sure.
Yeah, Fang Jr. seems uninterested, but I'll give you a quick intelligence roll to remember something.
Okay. Seems unlikely that I will, but we'll roll against that. Intelligence, you said?
Yep, just straight intelligence.
Okay.
Yeah, 10. Yeah, 10 will do it. So, yeah, you remember that one of the things that Aiden did a lot of during your travels this far is he cooked a lot. So his pack probably has a lot of foods.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So, there's not going to be much of the basilisk left. It's fairly exploded. What about the orc? Anything left over there?
All right. Flint is checking to see if he has any interesting equipment.
All right. So
I will do the same.
So Flint, you go over to the charred Orag rather quickly, basically right after everything's said and done. You start examining his body, and it seems that besides the book, which is completely burnt now, the only thing of worth you see on him is he's wearing a ring that is totally untouched, seems like it wasn't affected at all, and a small, strange circular object that kind of is like metal bands that are stuck together.
Metal bands, so like a metal bracelet, but like 5 of them all like welded together or something.
Yeah, it's about 3 inches across.
Okay.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. A ring and some metal bracers.
As they're doing that, can I just have a little look around the house now that we're in it?
Sure. So let us... So yeah, you can just freely roam these hallways here.
Okay. I was kind of looking for just, maybe it's been because it's been a week for us in between recording sessions, but can you just remind me what I'm seeing in the house in general?
So the house in general seems deserted. It seems like it's a corroded house that if there was upkeep on it, it seems very weathered down. This Orag activity is probably the first of any activity in this place in a long time.
Okay.
And let me just continue to reveal some doors and such.
Okay.
That you can explore.
Before the exploration starts happening too much, can I start casting Identify as a ritual?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. You will be doing that for 10 minutes. Does anyone else want to do anything?
I wanna.
Go ahead.
I wanna check out the phonon circle and see if I can use what remains for anything. In particular, I'd like to try to recharge my key using it.
Roll me a nature check.
Nature.
He's a bit of a natural
Yeah,
failure.
you take your monkly stance, and nothing happens. you just
Super
kind of.
sad.
And I look
just
as soon as you do that, Fang. I look nervously at Belorin, worried that he might get some sort of idea from that. Like Belorin, it's
Mental
okay.
note.
I guess it's his thing.
Mental note, Fang is a Saiyan.
Fang is a what?
Saiyan.
Surprise.
I currently have no key though, so I'm feeling quite sleepy.
All right. Well, let's have a little look around. Was the Orkin? How are you saying it? Orkin?
Yeah, it was Orag.
Orag,
It was a
sorry.
more
Orag.
intelligent, stronger orc.
That's
basically.
right. That's right. Sorry. I should write that down. Orag. Was the Orag stationed or staying here? Can I see any evidence that he had been sleeping here or residing here? Or is he just kind of in the house for the ritual?
So as far as you know, and this is just walking back into the room that you guys came in. If you, just to remind you, you guys came from this broken window and you through this room. This room, it seemed like it had new objects in it. It seemed like he was staying here. So you see some books and artifacts on what he was working on, and you see some evidence that he was sleeping here.
Can I just have a little bit of a rifle through his possessions? I want to go just.
Sure. Just in there in general?
Yeah. Just in particularly the room
you-
he's staying in.
Okay. So as you go back into that room, you see Aiden is looking through a bookshelf that seems quite weathered. It doesn't seem to have anything to do with what the Orag was doing. He's just rifling through it. And as you go through the Orag's things, you just see some basic provisions, a little more primitive than what you guys are used to. Obviously, he's not nearly as modern. And you see different magical, books and artifacts, as if he was trying to learn. It seems like he was a student.
Okay. Any languages that I speak, or is this all written in something else I've forgotten?
What do you speak?
Well,
common.
at the end of last session, Flint went through it to find out what it was about.
Oh, you did? Okay, I forgot.
Right, and it was basically just about him, different stuff about him trying to infuse phonons into creatures, which is what we caught him doing anyways. So
Forcibly.
Okay.
forcibly,
Yeah.
right?
It gets there well.
All right. Well, then I'm kind of. There's not much more that I wanted to check than this. Just wanted anything about affiliation, and his stuff. Is he alone, or is he part of a group, or anything at all, like correspondence of any sort?
You don't see any sort of communication at all. It seems like maybe he was an outsider, an outcast, or maybe all his friends are dead. But he doesn't seem to.
Okay.
He doesn't seem to have any sort of ongoing communication.
Is
And
there,
as you're, I'm sorry.
Is there any note what happened to the actual inhabitants of this building? Because I guess it doesn't belong to the orc. So if there's any points to that.
So are you in the room with Finn and Aiden?
I would be also I guess going through the.
I'm just asking because Aiden is going to speak up and he's going to say, "Forlin, the Empire of Forlin. I knew I recognized that symbol," and he's just rifling through some history book. He's just oh yeah, Finrur's not dead, of course. Forlin. That makes a whole lot more sense. And he's talking to himself. He's not talking to anyone in particular. He's just rifling it through, feeling more smug about his knowledge, I guess.
Someone please insight that to see if he's still just talking shit. I can't. I'm not hearing him. But
believe him. He seems he's been a good guide. I have no reason to doubt this, and I'm not terribly interested in the outcome one way or the other. So I wouldn't be like puzzling over whether or not he's telling the truth. I'd be like, that sounds very interesting. And then I also want to put him at ease because I'm looking for his pack. Is he has a pack on him, or is it in?
So as a guide, he has a big ol' backpack that just has all sorts of crazy stuff. But you remember from your earlier int roll that he also puts a huge loaded pack on his camel itself, which would be outside.
All right. So I'll say to Belorin, I'll say, have you heard of the Empire of Forlin, Belorin? And then what do you...
Let me quickly check through my memory if I remember anything.
All right, as he's doing that, I'll slowly back towards the window, having successfully diverted Ivan's attention.
Okay. You can, if you really want to be super sneaky, roll stealth with advantage since you diverted him.
I would. Okay, sounds good.
And for me to try to, if I remember anything about it, is...
Yeah, roll history.
Sorry, okay.
You were pretty convinced that this was actually the station of this Fenrir, and for some reason you feel real stubborn about that. You're like, Forlin, that sounds like some sort of like swindle name. That can't be an empire.
I don't know much. You can ask here.
I say to Iden, can you, Belorin doesn't seem to know about the Empire of Forlin, and it's an incredible historic accounting. Could you this spend a moment to get him up to speed, let him know what this means and what this could be, and the possibilities that this is that architecture. I mean, it's fascinating.
So as you're saying this, he's walking towards where the Orag was studying, and he sits down at the desk and he says, "Well, you see, the Empire of Forlin, they used to be a great naval," and then he just goes on and on and on about what's in this book, basically. And if you want to pay attention, I could tell you what this is.
I've left the room. I just started that.
I'm listening.
You're listening? So yeah, he talks about how the Empire of Forlin was this great naval fleet that would make different cities.
Naval in the desert.
It's very old.
Okay, I want to inside check that because that would strike me really strange.
Yeah. Go ahead, sure. Seems legit.
I guess there is like water around.
So he just goes on to talk about how it was a great conquering kingdom that made lots of big architecture in different places just to plant its mark. Just like this is where we are here, screw with us and we'll screw with you. And it seems that he thinks that there must be some sort of ruins nearby.
Cool. Okay. Did that total? God, I hope so. I mean, I was really aiming for like a half-hour dialogue between those two.
Yeah, sure. We'll say that was at least 15 minutes long. Like awesome. He just goes on and on and on about all the details of this book, and he's just like, yeah, well, did you know that the Queen's second cousin once tried to take one of the ships for his own, but he didn't know how to sail, but instead he went all the way to the Forsaken Continent and he was never heard of again. And it just goes on about all sorts of just random crap.
So does that mean Identify is finished casting?
Yes.
All right. So what about the ring?
Okay. So the ring it's very interesting. When you finished casting Identify on it, the ring tried to absorb the phonons and then failed. It seems that it was full, which is a very strange thing to say, until the Identify went through and tells you that this is a ring of spell storing.
Cool.
What does a ring of spell storing do?
So
don't
a
say
ring
stores spells because I just have to hang up the call.
So since you successfully casted Identify on it, you would know, if you didn't already know, that a ring of spell storing can basically any phonons used to cast a spell can be stored into the ring for use without actually casting the spell. So it's just like you can save spells into it and just use them at will.
And you can use it as like so some enemy is casting a spell towards me as an attack, and instead I'm going to absorb it with the ring.
No. So you have to cast the spell into the ring. So it's not like a deflector.
Okay.
I am casting the spell. I am touching this ring. I am putting the spell into this ring.
Gotcha. So
can other people use a spell that's been put in the ring?
Yes.
Can non-magic users use it? Sorry, Zal, I don't mean to keep cutting you off.
No, go ahead.
Yes.
Oh, we just lost JoINrbs. Rip. JoINrbs. So, okay, tell us a little bit more about this ring then. So, okay, so you cast a spell into it, and the spell is in this ring permanently until it's cast again, and anyone can use the ring to cast the spell.
Yes. And for mechanic's sake, he would know this. It can cast, or it can store up to 5 total levels of spells. So you can have 5 level 1s, or 2 level 2s and 1 level 1, or 1 level 5, or 1 level 4 and 1 level 1s.
Jesus.
Any combination of 5 levels
strong.
total.
By the way, did you just say that it's full, so it contains some spell at the moment?
Yes. So when he cast Identify, it tried to absorb it, but then it failed to, meaning it was full.
So do I know what spells are stored in it currently because of the Identify spell?
So roll Arcana with advantage.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. With a 22, you would recognize, like, the Identify spell gave you a hint on, like, the phonic signature, and yes, I'm making that up as I go, and of the spell, and you're like, this is a cast of Greater Restoration.
Greater Restoration?
So there's one level 5 spell in this ring.
Wow.
Cool. Is there like how is it activated? Is there some let's say if I wanted to use a spell stored in it, would I just say I'm using the spell stored in it, or is there some sort of
there is no command word. It's more of you know what's in it, and then you just will it, like you say, okay, Greater Restoration, and then you
And
so like it would be for like casting out of a ring, it would kind of be like releasing the spell.
Right. Exactly.
So you'd focus on the ring and think about release.
Yeah, pretty much. And then you would think what spell you want. Because, for example, if you had 5 level 1 spells, a command word wouldn't work. You would have to be like, okay, do I want shield, or do I want identify? What do I want here? So you...
Okay, and so I've played a lot of old editions and not a lot of 5th edition. And in 5th edition, apparently there's this thing called attunement. And I don't know anything about that. Does this ring require attunement?
Let me get you guys a full blurb since he cast Identify, and I'll put it in the chat. All right, so while I'm getting that, Finn, what are you doing?
I'm mostly just happy that I've managed to facilitate a conversation between Belorin and Aiden. So I'm kind of, from time to time, just checking in. And I'm kind of outside the door, and anytime I hear the conversation lull a little bit, I shout some words of encouragement, like prompting for more details or asking clarification of some of the points being raised or something like that.
And I'm talking to Aiden. I'm really interested in his stories.
And I'm very interested that you're very interested. That's wonderful.
Fang is going to meditate.
Okay.
Because he's a fucking monk. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Meditate upon his successes in battle.
All right. Well, Didn't you have something? Didn't you have two things? Didn't you have rings and bracers, or some rings and something? Wings and a welded.
He had like a ball of metal bands. Yes.
Right.
Also.
But I need to identify again for that.
Oh.
All right, another 10 minutes.
Yep.
All right, so
at this point, we might as well take a short rest, right? If you're gonna take 20 minutes casting spells, and our Fang looks like he wants to meditate, and I mean Belorin wants to learn the history of this empire. I mean, it's gonna take an hour.
I mean, if you guys have like made sure that the rest of the area is secure, then sure.
Well, it's better than outside, I assume.
I'm not really.
Well, have you guys checked all the other rooms?
I haven't.
I didn't. Was there anything interesting? Like,
well, we don't know. We haven't checked yet.
There's 3 doors that you haven't opened yet.
ah,
So how about I start casting Identify, and then you guys go check out the rooms. And if it's cool, then we can just start a short rest.
All right. I'll check the rooms.
Also, just a reminder, it's about 2 a.m. now. You guys have been traveling at night, and you stayed up all night. You guys traveled during the day, took a short rest, and then started traveling at night. So this will be short rest number 3, actually, because you short rested before going into the building.
Is there a limitation to how many times you can short rest in a day?
I believe it's 3.
Really?
Okay.
I think it's either 3 or 5.
Well, I was just doing this as a courtesy thought for a Fang. In which case, fuck it.
Oh, I'm fine.
Huh? I will. I'll take a little gander over to this door, and
I'm gonna go too.
Okay.
Like,
And I'll
Belorin stretches a little bit like, I'm fine.
I'll say Fang after you, and I'll step back a couple paces in case of traps.
Through a wall? That was a fancy move.
I just duck and cover through the wall.
Through the
Through
wall.
the wall.
All right, I'm gonna do the like very careful, like off to the side door opening sort of move. You know what I'm
Okay.
talking about.
Yep. So you open this door, and it just goes open to no effect. You just open it. It's fun.
Okay. So I'm gonna like cautiously enter, looking for tripwires.
I'm gonna
Okay.
give you words
Roll
of
me-
encouragement.
Roll me
Such things.
investigation. Also, I didn't find a roll on short rest, so we'll just say there's no limit for now. But I could have sworn there was. We won't worry about it though.
Man, is there some way I can roll for something that isn't investigation? Well, I've rolled for investigation.
So you're looking at the fibers of the carpet really carefully, making sure none of these are tripwires. And it takes you a long time because you keep losing track. You're like, crap, was I on this fiber or was I on this fiber? Oh, it's fine. I'll just keep looking at this one. And then, like, eventually you just realize, I think I'm fine. Or whatever you might think. But, yeah,
Okay.
you don't see anything.
So what do I see? What do I see now that I'm looking away from the fibers
So
of the
in the room itself, this seems to be some sort of training room. You see a couple wooden dummies across the walls, a couple chests open, filled with different varying kinds of basic equipment, and you see lots of wear and tear on a big training mat where it seems like lots of people have been stepping and fighting over it.
Does it look recently used?
No. The room itself seems just very dusty and unused in general.
Okay. There's no reason to think any of the equipment is worth my time as
No,
a level
just-
5 person.
No, it's mostly basic,
wait.
really basic stuff. So unless you want to pick up an extra spear or an extra sword or an extra set of armor, like basic, medium, or light armor, there's not really anything in there.
Okay.
I'll tell Finn that he can check the next room. Checking that one for traps was a little, that was very draining for me.
Yeah, you did a good job.
All right. I'll attempt to trick Fang into going into the room, just
Okay.
without thinking about it. I'll say, yeah, I'm totally happy to do that. I just fucking forgot my pack in the room ahead. Can you just grab that for me real quick, and then I'll be happy to go take a look at whatever it is you wanted me to do.
So do you want to do a deception
roll a dice,
insight?
or
Yeah, do you
is
want
this
to
an IRL deception?
Well, I don't know. It's tough to. Anyways, yes, I would like to roll some dice.
Okay. Do a deception versus insight.
Okay.
Filthy's like, yes, plus 10 deception. I'll take deception rolls all day.
So, at first it's like, yeah, Finn never keeps track of his shit. Maybe he just needs to go get his pack real quick.
Okay.
Because you think so little of Finn that this seems plausible.
And I don't ever discourage that.
All right. I will carefully open this room as well.
Okay. As you try to open the door, it is locked.
Did we find any keys on the door? We haven't seen any keys, have we?
I
yell out, "We haven't seen any keys, have we?"
I wander over and I say, "What do you need keys for? I thought you were getting my pack."
Yeah, you told me it was in this room, which is locked.
I locked the door after me. All right, let me have a look at this. I'll pull out my thieves' tools and I will attempt to pick the lock on this door.
Okay. Roll, just straight dex, no proficiency. Because I don't think you took proficiency in it, right?
But I'm a bard, so I have jack of all trades.
Yeah, so you get jack of all trades. So yeah, you'll get a +1.
+1. Okay. So it's dex +1?
Yep.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do that. It's an 11.
So you struggle for a second. You're just like, I haven't done this in a wait, is that how that works? And then right when you're about to figure it out or give up, click. Oh, there we go. You get it open.
All right. So door opens and I'll
Yep.
I'll slowly push the door open.
All right. My reveal tool will not work.
Okay.
There we go. So you open the door and you reveal a storeroom that also seems equally old. You smell moldy food and see big caskets of some sort of liquid. And on top of one of these crates of food, you see a pristine jug. It seems empty right now.
It's an empty jug, but it's just
okay. It's pristine.
But it's just absolutely flawless.
Okay.
Take the jug.
Are you gonna examine it further?
I guess in time.
Okay.
I guess when I open a room door and I see a jug, I'm like, amazing jug, and then I go back to worrying about traps and bombs and shit.
All right, so yeah, you look around the room some more, and you find out that the casks, it has mostly water in it, but you do find one cask that seems to have some sort of alcoholic beverage.
Has it? Can I sample that?
Sure. Roll me beer connoisseur.
Okay.
Which will be
charisma,
I
of course.
guess. No, you're right. Actually, I'll take that. Yeah, roll charisma. Sure.
Right. It's a 10.
Because it's not. So here's the thing. It's not about what your knowledge is of the beer. It's how convincing you can sound about how you know.
Right. How much of a jackass you are. But yeah, I agree. Anyways.
So you taste it and it tastes awful. Like it tastes so bad. But
I yell, Belorin, I found an ancient Emperor Forlin beverage in here. It's fantastic.
Do I hear that?
If he's shouting, the house isn't that huge. So yeah, you're about
Tell
100
Aiden.
feet.
And then I'll so is it off or just bad? Do I just not like it, or is it like foul?
It seems foul. Like it doesn't seem like you just took a little sample of it, and it seems like there's something in it, maybe the yeast or something. It's totally foul. Like something in it is just not, whatever made it beer is no longer working for it anymore.
All right, I'll poke around the room a little bit more. I'm kind of keeping a half an eye out in case there's something that we could use salvageable, that we could, like, water seems useful in the desert, for example. But okay, I do eventually get around to this pristine jug. And I look at it and I'm like, what is this? It's very, very impressive.
So this is kind of like a strange ceramic jug that appears to be able to hold about a gallon of liquid and weighs 12 pounds. Like you just like can feel it. Like that's pretty hefty. But it seems that the jug is empty.
What has caught my eye about this? Because so far there's nothing that would ever prompt me to pick this up. It's an empty ceramic pouring mug.
So what
Sure.
catches your eye about this is that everything else in this house has been weathered from
I
time.
see. Okay, this is what you mean by pristine. Okay, I got you. So, all right, I'll eyeball it. I'll give it the old eyeball.
All right. Roll me Arcana.
Okay. All right.
You heard that, just in general, that magical items are resistant to just wear and tear in general. So you have a inkling that this is probably a magical jug of some sort. But that's all you know.
Hey, just real quick, out of characters, I don't mean to fuck this up. Did you mess with the character sheets, like enable an advanced set of settings for them or something?
Oh, that's an update.
It was an update.
Was there?
I see, because it seemed to have eaten some of the notes I'd left for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I
got
didn't.
pushed out Tuesday morning.
And what does it fucking do besides delete things that I added to sheets that I need?
Tried to make everything compendium compatible, but it didn't take into account that it wasn't to begin with, I guess. We had to do something for it for our other campaign.
Yeah, I see something down here that says looking for missing data, and then it tells me how to turn it off, but I can't actually follow the directions because either I'm retarded or the instructions are not clear. Or both.
Options, feats, and traits. Set the section to be seen.
You guys see where that is?
Yeah, I'm missing a bunch of stuff also now that I think about it. Let's just dig through that during the first break we take. Yeah.
Because I just realized
It's really easy.
Okay.
Features and traits is like the third
Alright.
up on the right side of your settings cog.
Okay. Anyways,
I don't know if that helped.
so we'll say 10 more minutes has passed by now. Your second identify spell goes off.
Cool. On the bracers for sure.
And this you kind of had it you thought that this might be something more than meets the eye, obviously, and you find out that this is kind of like an expandable prison. It's called the Iron Bands of Bonding. And so you can say a command word that we'll find out if you can read there. It's on the bottom of the device, and it will expand and attempt to capture whatever you throw at it.
throw it at.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so let me just do a quick copy and paste since you know, since you did identify, you would see all this. And I'll do it at Flint in case he wants to keep anything secret. But he can just put it in the chat if he wants.
And has I'll read through that in a bit, but has anyone dropped off any jugs at Flint Frostbeard's magical identification station?
Not yet. I'm still looking at it. I'm impressed how clean it is. My first thought is perhaps it stores some sort of incredible alcohol, and I may not want to share that with everyone, so I attempt to pour anything out of it into a cup.
Okay, so you attempt to pour, and what's weird is the actual jug makes like a sloshing sound, but then nothing comes out.
Okay.
Fang is looking disapprovingly, because Fang remembers back at the bar when we were agreeing on roles. And it was definitely not Finn's role to identify magical items.
Do you speak up? Do I notice him scowling?
I'm just scowling right now. I'm not speaking up.
Okay. He's not trying to hide it. He's probably so like as you're pouring, you're looking over and you're just like, you can see him.
You're right, Fang. I'm overstepping my role. I apologize. I pick up the jug and without touching anymore, I say, I don't even really want to look at it yet. We'll bring it to the wizard. He probably knows best. And I'll head over to Flint and hand him the pitcher. I'll say, this one too. and then I'll walk off again.
Excellent. And then start the 10-minute cast all over again.
And I'll kind of would before in between Flint's ritual, so he's finished his second one, and before he starts the third, I'll kind of look at my hand, like, and then tap my foot a little bit and be like, should we be on our way soon, Flint? Any more dancing needed? And then I'll wander off again.
Flint has already started casting, so he totally was not even paying attention to your impatience.
Okay.
And Fang is very obviously uncomfortable with the spell casting going on, so he's gonna go wander and look at the last room.
Okay.
I'll follow him over too, because I'm bored with the spell casting as well.
Okay. All right. So do you guys do your same old hat and dance, just like kind of?
Yep. I
right.
cover in the room behind and wait for Fang to trigger any
Yeah,
traps.
and Fang is gonna like gently open the door from the side, looking for Finn's backpack.
Okay. You see another. It looked like it was once a bedroom, like the other side of the house, but is now being converted to a recently used prison. So you see two large cages, one of them closed, that seems to be, not used recently, but the other cage was open, and you see signs of wear and tear, like something was in there trying to get out.
Okay, do we see... Alright, recent signs of wear and tear. What does this mean on an iron cage?
So on an iron cage, it seems like you see like scratches on the inside. You see like places where pressure was put, like trying to test the limits of this cage. It seems like it was recently inhabited by something trying to get out.
Is this big enough for that basilisk to have been in?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is there anything that resembles like basilisk feces in there or something? Like, is this like...
Roll nature.
All right. Like, was a wild animal
Always looking for the poop.
This is an indicator of some things. It's easy. Game's easy.
So yeah, you're looking around the cage, and you the first thing that happens is you smell it, and you're just like, oh yeah, this is some basilisk poop. You look down and you just see a big, fresh, steaming
I gesture
pile
Fang
of
over. I
it.
say, come here. Smell that. Smell that. This, we don't even have to use deduction or reasoning here of any sort. We just know. I just know. The instant I smell that scent in the air, I know for a fact that this cage has held a basilisk. Whatever that thing was over there. It was in
Because
here.
you just recently smelled a basilisk exploding from the inside out.
Yeah, did you smell what that guiding bolt brought out? This is purified basilisk anus right here.
Is the poop like imbued with magic at all? Can I sense that it's magical poop?
I think it uses brown photons. Get your finger in there and really dig them out. You can recharge your key that way.
Roller gun. You feel like maybe there's another color of photons you're not really.
Yeah, maybe like brown photons.
You think, oh, maybe there's something special about this species. I'm not really sure.
I've never heard of brown phonons before, but there might be some in there. Why don't you go check it out?
Okay. Is there any? There's two cages.
Yep.
Well, after having found such an incredible leap of detectivehood here, of brilliance, I want to check the other cage. What is it?
So this cage seems like it was probably never used. It's in perfect condition. So it's closed but not locked, and it seems like it's in perfect condition.
Okay. Anything else in the room besides these cages? One filled with basilisk shit?
No. So you see the window, it's unbroken. Besides that, nothing else.
And these are how big again? Huge, right?
Yeah, they're like 12 by 12 feet. So they're big cages.
How are they put together? Like welded or how are they? Is it something I could take apart like modularly? Like can I unscrew them?
It seems like the bottom of the bars are welded in, but the top it seems like there's some sort of latch with each bar, so you could like deconstruct the cage if you really wanted to. But the bottom would be one big piece with the bars.
Flint, would you like a dungeon to go with your armbands of bondage?
Flint is still casting.
No. I turned to Fang. What do you think? Should we bring this with us? You never know when we need a play space.
Yeah, I don't know. I get a
Place
very,
space.
I'm getting a very uncomfortable vibe from this house.
Is that a yes or no? I mean, it looks like it'd be pretty simple to take apart here.
So, Belorin, while all this is going on, you hear from down the hall that, yeah, there might be there's some delicious beer. And Aiden's like, oh, and he starts going down the hall into the storage room.
I want to stop him. Like, what about the cameras? Like, shouldn't you look over them, like, so they don't run away?
So Fang Jr. is laying on the carpet in this room here. He's just chilling.
That's just one. What about the others?
He's like,
It's your job to look over them.
It wasn't my job. Okay. And then you convince him. He goes outside.
Thank you.
Right. Well, I'm happy with our little search here. Sorry, go on.
I will move back to where Flint is.
Okay. All right. So let's say you guys all gather up for the end of this third spell.
Okay.
Okay. So you all rejoin in the main room. You finish your third identify spell, and you find out that this is a alchemy jug. It's a magical jug that can produce varying amounts of liquid of your choice once per day.
Any liquid?
How much?
Any liquid on of a list of liquids that I will share.
Okay, but what's like sort of the most powerful sort of liquid? Like it can't like produce like some extremely potent poison or venom or something like that, right?
The most potent thing here, it seems to be mayonnaise. Probably 2 gallons.
2 gallons of mayonnaise. That could be
Basic
helpful.
poison.
Acid?
Is listed.
Yeah.
Basic acid, basic poison. Okay, interesting.
Beer. 4 gallons.
Interesting.
This is respectable. Do you share this information with the group?
Sure. He only sent that to me.
No, we see it all, but I
put it in the chat.
You did the
Right.
identifier. Okay.
Right.
All right.
You have to share the info.
Are you taking care of these magical items, Flint? Fang has reminded me of our roles, and my role is not guardian of the magical items.
Well, I don't know what the heck to do with this jug, and I'm not terribly dexterous, so these iron bands would probably be better used with someone else.
I could hold the jug.
Just for beer?
I mean, I would use it for the good of the mankind. Elven-kind people.
Would
Sentient
you?
beings everywhere.
Serious question. Would you?
Are you in the room?
Yeah,
Are you asking me this?
Yeah, as you are saying, like, yeah, I would do it for the good of people, and I'm like, would you?
Absolutely, Belorin. I don't understand why you even doubt me. By the way, how did you find the ancient brew, the Empire of Forlin's finest?
It's
Did you try it?
interesting. What?
Did you try it? The spoiled beer?
Oh, the beer? No.
Yeah, he talked Aiden out of it.
Oh, disappointing.
Aw.
I wasn't interested, but Aiden was. But I told him like his purpose is something else than getting drunk.
His purpose? You told him it's not allowed? Let's see.
Yeah, pretty much actually. Like he was just like, "Aren't you, working or something?" He was like, "Ah, all right."
All right. Well,
Somebody has to work.
how do these armbands work?
So it's kind of like it's almost like a rubber band ball, except it's iron bands, and so you
It's like-
can throw it with a with a dex roll, it's just like a dex ranged attack.
Okay.
And if you hit against their AC, they are captured.
What happens if you miss with the AC? Is it just lost?
If you miss, it just it goes onto the ground.
They can hypothetically pick it up and throw it back at us?
They could potentially do that, yes. Oh, well, no. They could pick it up, but it can only be used once per day.
Right. So basically, it would just be some rings.
Yeah, if it misses, it would recontract and then fall on the ground. But they could pick it up if they really wanted to.
Still, though, is that something that you would be able to use?
This does what? Grapple them?
Yeah, it restrains them.
So all the stuff that goes in with being restrained, which is like a condition in the back of the book, which basically means they can't move or do much. Yeah. Who's the most dexterous, though? I feel like it would be
Fang.
Well, Fang can do a bunch of other things in combat.
I immediately challenge Fang to a thumb war to see who's more dexterous for this.
Okay. All right.
He's trying to trick you.
I'll roll with disadvantage because I'm so surprised.
Both of you roll dex.
Okay.
And you still win.
And you still have the plus on it.
That's a dex save. Isn't that cheating?
Well, it would be -3, but he still beats you.
It's cheating.
So it's still
What you're
21.
telling me. All right.
I see. Yeah, I see. Sorry.
I'm not graceful in my defeat in the thumb war, and I accuse him of cheating.
So he does it. He doesn't even look at you. Like he's just like, you know, those phonons have been there a long time, and they're starting to dissipate by now. And he still manages to kick your ass in that thumb war.
All right, well, Fang's already pretty good at doing stuff in combat, and Finn here is usually just laying on the ground behind a wall somewhere. So here you go, Finn. Try and make some good use of it.
I couldn't in good it was a fair despite my fuss, it was a fair fight. The best man won. These belong to Fang first and foremost. I think these are up to him to decide with what he wants to do with them. These photon gobbling, photon emitting bands of bondage.
Fang's gonna completely miss all of the overtures going on here and just like put them in his pocket.
Cool.
Cool.
Easy.
Thanks, guys. Very nice of you.
All right. Perfect.
And then you want the jug.
Yeah.
To Finn. All right. And then hands you the jug.
All right.
I don't know how magical this is. Can it be reshaped, or is it always just this big 12-pound pitcher?
It is always the same size, as far as you know.
Do I have a flask?
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's a basic adventuring supply.
Can it make liquor as well as beer?
It does not say so. It just says beer. It can make wine, which it's not.
What type?
Still...
Dude, it makes
fortified wine?
Basic poison. It makes half an ounce of basic poison once a day.
That's not gonna help me. I don't want that in my flask. When I get drunk
Yeah,
one night,
it's not
forget
for
and
you
sip
to
poison.
use. It's for you to like put on your weapon.
Put on my weapon?
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
wasting good beer on my weapon.
Not the beer, the poison.
But I know you.
But that would mean
I
you
know
would
that
have
you
less
have
beer.
a background in magic. I'm just suggesting that. I'm not sure that. I mean, maybe the practicalities of this elude you a little bit. How does it work, Flint?
Limited beer. Okay, fair enough.
I whisper to it, beer. What happens?
You feel it getting heavier. Just like you feel it.
Can I
just
move
filling...
it when it's filled with beer? How big is this thing?
Yeah.
Again? 12 pounds.
So it now
It's
has
12 pounds.
four gallons of beer in it.
So yeah, it's. I don't know what the ratio of pounds to gallons is, but
I'm kind of curious. I think that's a fair. I mean, 4 gallons. I guess I could. Could I? I'm trying to think now. What the fuck did I used to brew in? Are those 2 gallon? What are the big? Are they 4-gallon barrels? What do you put?
Well, just think of like.
Well, part of the
gallon
point of this
Oh,
is
right,
that.
gallon milk. Okay.
Yeah, part of the point of this is that it's magical. It has way more liquid than it seems like it should.
Oh, okay.
So.
It's small TARDIS.
Well,
it's beer
so now
TARDIS.
the person who's already the most charismatic of all of us can now magically produce 4 gallons of beer out of thin air.
Out of
once
beer.
a day.
pretty good about beer.
Beer for everybody.
Right.
I like it. I like
The-
it.
the
I'm pleased
best-
with it.
Four
However, I
gallons-
don't have
4
equipment
gallons
anymore
is
because it
8
ate
and a
my
half
equipment.
pounds. So yeah, now it's a 20-pound flask. Or
Well, I guess you have to drink 4 gallons of beer, or he
I-
just has to carry around
Yeah,
an
I'm
extra.
not very strong. I attempt to drink off probably at least a half gallon of that. Just
so
real quick.
you do the like just straight up.
Like a box stand kind of.
Okay.
With my pitcher. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you struggle, but you manage. Like you're just, but you start to get it, and roll me beer connoisseur.
Okay. Which we decided was charisma.
Yep.
All right. Beer connoisseur. Not good. Not good.
You're too focused on trying not to drop this thing, and you have, like, it's hoppy, it's nice, but like you're too you can't make a great snorty remark about it. You're too focused on trying not to drop it.
Okay. All right. Well, I will. Do we have a container of any sort in any of our packages? I'm worried about.
Look,
I'm worried about.
so you have like water skins, but I'm assuming that they're not empty.
Are there
you know.
any bowls in that big room with all the beer and storage rations that are off? Like any serving or
like
serving bowls?
eatery?
I just want a big bowl.
Yeah, sure.
Like a big salad bowl would be perfect.
Okay.
All right, I grab the big salad bowl, I walk it over to Little Fang, and I pour him about 1.5 gallons of beer.
Okay.
And I pat him on the neck and say, "Here you go, boy," and let him have it. I assume he stores this for later usage. He's like his own internal flask, the lucky bastard.
He laps it up. He drinks the beer happily.
Excellent. I pat him and say, "Good boy," and then I say, "I'm ready if everyone else is." So this, what happens with the liquid in here? So it's heavier when it summons the liquid, and I've used half of that liquid now.
So here's the weird thing: is that it doesn't seem any lighter.
After having poured it off, so it just gains a set amount of weight. Okay.
Yep.
But it weighs more than it did when we first picked it up.
Once he poured out all of the 4 gallons, then it would go back to the normal weight, right?
Yeah, you would know that.
Interesting.
Okay. I offer the remaining beer post Fang Jr. to anyone if they want any.
You hear Aiden from the desert. I'd like some.
I say, you get the approval from Belorin, and I'll pour you a glass.
Hey, he kind of like looks through the broken window, and you know all these doors are probably still open. He just says, "Belorin."
All right, come in.
And he walks
You
in
deserve
happily,
this.
and he bloody footprints everywhere. He doesn't even like bother trying to avoid this big puddle of blood, and he just comes over and he's like, "All right, so where's the beer?"
I pour him.
I will
Does he have
point
something?
next to the little Fang at the bowl.
You gave beer to the camel?
Is he asking me?
Yes.
I say, Little Fang expressed a preference for this particular blend of beer. This was his favorite, so I gave it to him.
He looks at you skeptically, but then comes over for a drink.
Okay.
So he takes a drink, assuming you allow him to.
Yep.
And he's just like, very hoppy. Camels eat hops. They actually quite enjoy it. So that makes a lot of sense. He completely believes you that this is his favorite beer.
Excellent. Well, I think it is. I think it's the only beer he's ever had.
Yep.
All right. I am good to move on out of this house whenever you guys are. I would accomplish everything I could possibly want to accomplish.
Same
Yeah,
here.
so I guess the main question is, are you guys going to do a rest here before you leave? Like any sort
I
of
wouldn't mind sleeping for the night.
Yeah, I would say with all that, it's about 3 a.m. now. You guys.
Yeah, the thing
fine.
is, we want to sleep through the day, like, because we want to move at night.
Yeah.
Right, but it's
We
still...
were gonna
it's
work
slightly-
around to that, right?
Yeah, it's slightly unusual to just instantly flip your schedule. So I'm fine with just like doing a long rest here and then afterwards just kind of hanging out here for the rest of the day and then picking up again, like at dusk tomorrow. Makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds okay. We can try to investigate more if we can find any other clues, maybe. Like, this is really strange. Like, what is this building doing here?
We never.
My only
Other
complaint or
input?
concern is that we exploded a basilisk from the ass out, and it's now coated the this entire room. I'm not sure this.
Well, we're not sleeping in this room.
All right, let's just put maybe a little distance. No, you want to sleep in this room? All right.
No, we're not sleeping in the exploded basilisk room. We're sleeping in one of the other rooms.
Okay, we'll close the door. You're saying?
Yes, of course.
It is the desert. It's gonna get rather warm during the day. It's gonna heat up. Get real nasty in there. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
No sleeping in the exploded rotting basilisk room.
All right. I'm fine with that then.
Okay. So you guys take a long rest?
Okay.
Does anyone want to do anything in particular during their long rest?
I would like to try to finish off the rest of the pitcher.
Okay. Roll me 2 con saves.
2 con saves. All right. And I'll share with our guide, Zygon.
Okay.
And anyone else who wants it, but him in particular. Okay, there's the first, and there's the second.
Okay, so after your initial drink, you were feeling pretty good, but then as you start drinking during the night, it hits you hard. Maybe it's been a while since you had a good beer, but man, this, like, you are fully buzzed. And then as the night goes on, you don't really get full tipsy, but you just have a nice, good buzz throughout the night.
Amazing. So basically what you're telling me is this gave me a prolonged buzz for the entire evening.
Yep, so you did amazing. Aiden did not fare as well. He got drunk off his ass and was just telling you absolutely everything that doesn't matter.
Flint is not going to be in the same room as that.
Like, he's sitting there drinking with you, Finn, and he's just like...
I'm pumping him for information the entire time. I wanna hear about his life story, but I'm looking for anything that tells me about his loyalties, about who he is as a person, about what he's doing out here. I'm doing it friendly, camaraderie, keep feeding him the alcohol style thing, but I'm really trying to get a sense of this man. Okay.
Roll me persuasion.
All right.
Taking one for the team.
Wow.
I'm feeling persuasive.
Okay. So at first, as you're drinking and he's starting to get really drunk, he's just like, there's 5 kinds of sand on this continent. It's so crazy. 5 kinds. Do you know what that means? It means that there's so many different kinds of...
I interrupt him, and I say it means nothing unless you get on Belorin's good side. At the moment, Belorin will only let you have 3 kinds of sand. If you want your other 2 kinds of sand, you need to make that man like you. And then I'll let him go on.
You're so persuasive. He just looks at you, and he's just like, oh my God. But we've already encountered 2 kinds of sand. That means if we encounter one more, that's it. That's all the sand.
That's all the bit. That's all she wrote for sand. Right. So how does the night? Okay, so the night progresses. We're getting drunk.
You're a good man, Finn. You're always looking out for me.
I put an arm around him and keep drinking. I give him another sip off the pitcher. We don't have any cups really, and it doesn't really work with our water skins. So I've taken to actually pouring the pitcher directly into my mouth or his mouth, depending on whose turn it's up for this.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that goes well. So basic information. He tells you about that he's been a guide for 15 years on this continent specifically. So he just kind of fell in love with the culture of this continent, and it is his hobby and eventually job to go around this continent and learn of all the different kinds of culture. And so he was just so fascinated with all the different kinds of culture this specific continent had that he decided to join the government of, I forget the city name, but the city that hired you and him to travel the continent as much as possible, and that he really wanted to go on this mission to meet these people because he's never met them before.
Well, I tell him he's an incredible guide, and I'm particularly impressed with the vast amount of knowledge he has about things that just, things that I would just never have thought of. Just
he's a weepy drunk, and he's just like, you're a good man, Finn. I think out of everyone here, we bond.
You keep up the good work and watch out for Belorin. We really got to get him on your side. Maybe try to make it up to him. Try to go out of your way to really get on his good side. Maybe special food, special attention. I don't know, just something. You got to think of something. Zygon, I want you to stay as our guide, and I'm worried that he might let you go.
I will.
Excellent.
I promise you.
Excellent.
I hope he's gonna have a big window tomorrow.
Big window?
He will not remember anything.
Oh, I've never heard that phrase.
I've never heard that
I
phrase
like
either.
that.
Say that phrase again.
A big.
Big window?
I don't know.
If you don't know if that translates properly?
No, but I want to hear it. If this is an idiom of like a cultural idiom, I want to hear it.
We like in Czech we would call it in like the direct translation would be window.
Uh-huh.
And you'd
It
say
sounds
what?
like it's like a black. It sounds
When
like
he
it's like
just
a blackout.
blackouts, doesn't
Yeah.
remember anything from the last night.
Yeah, but you call him what? You wouldn't call he's what?
A big window?
He's had a big
Oh,
window.
that
Like what would be the?
that he has big window.
He has big window.
He had a big window, so he blacked out for a long time, essentially.
Gotcha.
That's cool. I like that. I'm gonna start
Huh.
saying that. That's good.
It's like that. I'm saying that would be direct translation. I'm not sure like what would be the English translation when that like.
Well,
How
That's
do you
cool.
say it?
That's cool. I like that.
all right. So that's my night. What are you guys doing?
Fang's asleep?
Yes.
I guess we just take the classic card and then just sleep.
I think at some point, and I know this is a novel concept, but
Okay.
at some point, whenever Finn is not sleeping, he's actually going to be keeping watch.
Well, I mean, sure, we can call it keeping watch. If that's what, I mean, I'm a little bit distracted, so I'm not sure how well I'm going to be doing at keeping
Yeah,
watch.
that's fine.
We can retcon that this all took place outside with the camels, and you were watching
Yeah.
the camels.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be outside, looking directly at a fire because it's really nice to have a fire while you're drinking in the evening out there. So I can't see shit. My night vision's totally gone, and I'm
Yep.
just like staring at the fire, drinking with Zygon on watch. All right.
Okay, so all of that stuff with Zygon then happened as first watch. How about that?
Sure.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
All right. But this is probably a good spot to cut the video. We'll take a little break here, and then we'll record session 2 of this set. So thanks for
Riveting.
watching, guys. And
Absolutely.
hopefully you enjoyed it. We'll see you soon.